Hey everybody, it's Lisa Young Sutton with another video for you, and today I am continuing with the Method of Distance series. My intention is to make several short videos that will provide you with the information you need to start thinking along the lines of proximity and groupings of cards and how they influence and affect each other. Okay, so each subsequent video is going to build on the information from the previous one. And what deck am I using? I'm using my little Untitled Lenormand Mini, traditional deck. Okay, now today I'm going to start by using the most popular theme, which is relationships. But these rules, these proximity rules, apply to all life areas that you can possibly examine in a grand tableau. So we're going to say that this reading is for Kurt. So Kurt is our seeker, okay? And he's been dating Goldie for a while and wants to know how the relationship will progress over the next 6 months. So it's about Kurt and Goldie. So we'll start by looking at how the interpretation of the cards differs depending on what zone they fall in. And by zones, I'm referring to the very near cards. Remember, he's our seeker. So the box around him are his very near cards. The next row out are his near cards. All right. The next row out, which we only have the first column and this column, right, the 7th column, are the far cards. And because of his placement right in the center of the tableau, that makes this 8th column, these 4 cards are his only very far cards. Okay, that is what I'm talking about when I say zones. All right? So, consider this, that if he were to fall in a corner, he only has 3 cards. Any corner, he only has 3 very near cards, and he only has 5 near cards, okay? If he falls in the fate line, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly, 5 very near cards, so on and so forth. So he's not always going to have a full box around him, is what I'm saying. And the number of far cards and very far cards, near cards, very near cards will always depend upon where he lands. Okay, so what other cards are we interested in a relationship? Well, you locate your seeker. Then, of course, you locate your partner card. But then you have 3 relationship cards, the relationship trio, okay, which is the heart, the ring, and the anchor. So I have them all placed here for this video. All right. Now, I want you to remember that your seeker is the primary, okay? The partner, if it helps you, just look at the partner as the object of the seeker's attention, if that helps you, okay? And you will read the cards around the partner only as they pertain to the seeker. Okay, so you can think of the partner as an object, and in the same way that you would read around his work card or his health card, that kind of thing. All right, now this placement is ideal. Okay, that's why I put it here. You have the ring on the right. The ring is the only card in the Method of Distance that has a stipulation as to whether or not it needs to be to the right or left, okay? All other cards are based on proximity, all right? But this one, you want it very near, but you always also want it to the right. The other 2, it doesn't matter if they're right or left, above or below. This doesn't matter if it's above or below either. What matters is how close they are, okay, to the seeker. Now, I stuck her here, of course, because this reading is about the 2 of them. But what if you had these 3 perfectly placed, but she's out here? She's very far. Well, you still know that this is a 6-month spread for these two, right? So you still know that within the 6 months, there's going to be a committed, loving, stable relationship. Why is she out here? The cards that fall between will explain that. Basically what it's saying, because of these 3 cards, it's saying that she's about to get a lot closer, but you got to deal with this stuff first, or this is trying to tell you something here, okay? And that's all that means. So, what you always want to keep in mind is that when you're looking at positive cards, I mean, very near is ideal, followed by near, then far, then very far, right? The further a card gets away from the seeker or the theme card that you're reading around, you know, if you're reading around the work card, the further cards get away, the less impact they have, or the less stable they are. Okay, so you can kind of look at, you know, in this, we're going to hold it to the relationship theme, right? So, you know, you're looking for these relationship cards, right, for him. You know, if they fall in the very near position, it's like, yes! If they fall in the near position, right, they're one out now, that's more like, ooh, oh, we're almost there. And you want to examine the cards that fall between them, between them and the seeker, okay? There may be a significant message in the cards that fall between, or if they're just other positive cards, you know, like if you just have like the sun in there and well, I don't want to waste too much time digging for all kinds of cards, but, you know, if you just have some other good cards in there, they may be there simply to push it out a bit, because it's saying it's not perfectly stable yet. All right, so always examine the cards that fall between. All right, so that's your very near and your near positions. If these cards land in the far position, remember, is kind of like a buffer zone. It's like, oh, it's just out of reach right now, but there's still maybe something brewing because they're not very far, right? They're just out of reach. So let's maybe do another reading in a couple months and see if those cards are getting closer or further away, right? That's the way I look at my far cards. And very far cards are simply telling me there's no chance of this happening within the time period. So go ahead and lay another spread at the end of the time period and see what changes have taken place. Okay, that's very far. It's, you know, forget about it during the time frame. All right. So other than proximity, you want to consider what aspect of the relationship each of the cards brings. Okay? Each of them adds a specific element to the relationship. You don't just look at all 3 of these cards and say relationship, relationship, relationship. They all have something unique that they're bringing. Okay? The heart represents desire, love and passion, affection and pleasure. The ring indicates the promise, right? The bond, the union, the contract or agreement between 2 people. Okay? And the anchor shows the grip you have on the relationship. It's the stability, the safety, and the faithfulness of the relationship. Okay? I'm thinking about what an anchor does for a ship, right? But it's also about hope and perseverance, this card. So that comes into play more when it's far away. You know, especially if you have something like this where you have these 2 perfectly placed, but this is the only one that's out of reach, then you start looking at perseverance. Come on, you got to persevere because you're almost there, right? Or don't give up hope because you got this going on, right? So always remember what your cards mean. Okay, so I think I got it all in. Wow, that was fast, right? Yeah, so, you know, it's all about the proximity and what cards fall between the perfect cards and the seeker's card. And, yeah, and like, again, like if this card were way out here, if these were perfectly placed and this one was out here, read the cards around this one, okay? Don't just say, well, it's okay, I'm going to read all these, and this one is telling me something you know, I need to not give up hope, and I need to persevere because these are so well placed. You also read the cards around that. Okay? All right, that's it. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. I think I accomplished that today. I am off to the mountains for a week of R&R, and I hope all of you have an amazing week as well. Now go play with your cards. Bye, everybody.